Okay, so I'm going to be showing Caesar IV's storage system today because we're taking a lot of cues and inspiration from it. Um, there are two different buildings in Caesar IV that deal with storage. We're only going to have one in Archipelago. In this game, they're called the Granary and the Warehouse. We're just going to have like a storage warehouse. I really like how this building works art-wise, and I'm going to talk a little bit about its limitations, what I'd like to try and push past it, but also how it functions as a core thing. So we're not going to talk about the Granary. It's very, very similar to the warehouse. It just only handles food because there's food variety in the game. We're going to be handling production. So, a warehouse is obviously where goods are stored. As we can see, when you mouse over it, it gives you these cells. If you've seen these like boxes in other parts of the UI that I've designed, like this is what I'm referencing here. Um, their version, they only let you see 8 options, so they have a cap of 8 unique items can be stored warehouse at a time. I don't want to deal with that, so we're gonna try not to do that. If we put a scroll bar in, we'll put a scroll bar in, and we'll just prioritize showing items that actually have values in rather than items with 0. As you can see, when there's, you know, let's see, for example, this one has clothing and olives, and this one doesn't, so they're not even listed at 0. They're just not even available. So you can't directly interact with the items, right? They're just there. The people come and they take them to different places. This is what I really like about their system. It's called the order system. I don't know what we'd call it, but this is basically how it works. So this is a list of all the items you can unlock on the map. This is not all the items in the game. This is just the map. And so what this does is it tells you the maximum total of the warehouse is 32. Now that's not 32 of each item. That's 32 items total. But what you can do as a player is basically set how many of an item you want to be allowed to store there. So for example, we're just going to set all to 0. And we're going to keep the furniture, and we're going to keep the olive oil and the marble. It's cool. Um, so in this situation, what we basically told the game is, I don't want you to store any of these items unless they are a marble, olive oil, and furniture. And you can store as much of that as you possibly can. Inversely, we could also say, and if you have some shirts, you can store up to 8 shirts here, but no more than that. So what the game will do, or the AI rather, is they'll bring items, they'll check and they'll see whether or not I can store it here. If they can't, they'll move on. And if they can, they will attempt to store it. Now, when the when the warehouse hits 32 items total, no new items can be stored, regardless of how far along the bar is. So, for example, the furniture bar has the bottom orange, right? That shows our maximum, and our top yellow, which shows our current. And we can see that over here, probably even better illustrated on olive oil, yeah, so on olives and on wool, right? So I'm going to go ahead and hit play. And we are real quick going to, let's see, what's a good test to do this? It's just, we can't store olives here anymore. And so what will happen is anyone that comes with olives is going to have to go somewhere else. Now, first thing is obviously we have olive shops, so they have no room to store anything right now. But eventually a worker will come and he'll try and find a place to store it. But he knows he can't store it here. So the reason you're seeing this movement around is because other items are being stored, so it's visually changing, but no new olives are being added. The game isn't going to prioritize, sorry, that's the game audio. The game isn't going to prioritize removing olives. It's only going to prioritize not storing new olives. There's an olive factory somewhere, yeah. So there's an olive factory here that's getting olives nice and quickly. I'm just trying to see if we have an overflow. I don't think we do. So what we can do is we can just shut down this real quick. And now we will definitely have a surplus of olives. Let me just give this half a second. So I know I wasn't going to talk about it, but this is the granary. It's got the exact same system. As you can see, there's currently no food in the granary, and food stocks are low because my people are starving to death. And we're just going to ignore that. Keep going. Oh, I also said no storage of olives here. I forgot. Okay, so this is a perfect example of one of the things that you may be like, oh, that's not good, but this is exactly what I want. What I've basically done in the economy is by not allowing any storage here, these olive farms are just stockpiling until they hit their cap, and once they're at the cap, they'll stop working. So it's a good way to stop your economy. Anyways, what we're going to do is we're going to turn on olive storage here, and we're going to watch as this inevitably fills up with olives rather quickly. You can already see we've got 4 olives. We're probably getting close to the cap for this warehouse entirely, so I'm going to put a new warehouse down. And I'm going to actually turn off everything but olives. And I'm going to turn off olives here. And so now if we wait a few moments, what will happen is this warehouse will begin to fill with olives and nothing but. Right? And so that's how this warehouse has slowly been depleted of olives, no new olives. This one's been completely depleted. And this one was originally full, had 8, now it's empty, and this one will eventually be depleted as well, so long as there's room up to 32 for olives. So this is the basic system of how the warehouse works. This is what I'm really trying to emulate. I'm going to draw some images in 2D that I'm going to try and show things I want to change about how the UI works. But all in all, this is the basic system that I'm really taking really heavily from this game. So I hope this helps to explain kind of how the system works, and what I'm looking to do here.